What is one of the biggest challenges entrepreneurs face? Knowing confidently what sets them apart from others. My first experience as the proud owner of Jewels of Jordan was a learning one. This picture, I was 9 years old, and at 9, I started my business, Jewels of Jordan. And I was invited to speak at an event to actually sell at an event for mothers and daughters. I was so excited to finally put myself out there, to finally put my business out there. And as I walked into the room, a sudden rush of fear and doubt and worry just fell over me because all the vendors were adults. There were jewelry designers there that I saw in magazines and on TV. I knew I wasn't going to sell anything. And I just felt like the worst feeling, being only 9 years old and believing that your first chance, your first opportunity to put your business and yourself out there is going to fail. See, fear and doubt can kick in really quickly if you do not believe in yourself or in your business. It is up to you if you're going to let fear and doubt get to you. So when I was setting up the event, the host of the event came to me and she asked me to speak in a microphone about my business in front of everyone. Now, for most business owners, this would be a great opportunity to put your business out to draw customers to your table. But for me, it was more like a great opportunity to put one foot in the grave. I had no idea what I was going to say. This was my first event after all. And so my face became hot and red, and I felt like I was just going to faint. But I decided I was going to do it anyway. So as I was handed the mic, all I was able to say was, hello? My name is Gabrielle Jordan Williams, and my business is Jewels of Jordan. I passed something like, I did horrible. Horrible. I felt like I ruined my chances of selling anything, so I just sat down and I waited for the event to be over. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. You see, when this was my first event, I had a great opportunity to draw people to my table, but I was not prepared. Opportunities will come at any moment, and and if you are not prepared, you will lose those opportunities. So it's up to you if you're going to be prepared for those opportunities. So to my surprise, actually, people started coming to my table, and they started telling me, oh, you did great. And I thought, they're crazy. I did horrible. But what seemed like a horrible job was actually inspiring for other people to see a young entrepreneur, going after their dreams. Now, I might have been saved from embarrassment this time, but there have been plenty of other places where I decided not to prepare, and it did not go well in my favor. So, be prepared. So what I failed to realize at this event, the reason I was afraid, the reason why I had this shock of doubt and worry, was because I didn't know what made me unique. I didn't know what made me special. I didn't know my unique value. See, as a business owner, ready to bring your passion to the world, if you do not believe that people will accept what you're doing, if you do not believe that you will succeed, that shows that you do not know your unique value. And that means it's time to change it. All right. So about a year ago, I was at an event, and similar to this one, and I was selling. And I was surrounded by a bunch of adult vendors, like normal, and it didn't really get to me that time because I understand that being a young person with a business, with a book, with a speaking career, being a philanthropist, it means that I'm unique. That is pretty unique. And I understood that. So later on, during the event, a person came by my table, and he inquired about the cost of my book, and I told him it was $15. And so he decided he wanted to inform me that I should be aware of, quote unquote, pricing myself out of the market. He continued to try and haggle me to lower my prices. And I mean, I'm someone that takes advice from people, from mentors. I have mentors, I have people on my team. They help me to grow and succeed, but without knowing much about me or my business, this person felt they had the right to devalue it. I'm a confident person. I understood my unique value. I understood that I should not be afraid, and so the fear was eliminated. But you see, when it comes to doubt, others and even your own thoughts will make you doubt your unique value. But you must remember what got you to this point, why you started this business, so that people like the man I'm talking about does not affect who you are, does not affect what your value is. So later on during the event, I spoke during the luncheon, and then I came back to my table. And the man came back as well. He purchased my book without the haggle. Why? What changed? I'll tell you one thing, I did not change the price of my book. So what changed? What changed was his perspective. He originally saw a 13-year-old girl. He did not know what I really did. He did not know who I really was. But once I finished my speech, he understood, he saw a girl with value. So he understood, one, my unique value, but he understood that I understood my unique value. So now that we understand the importance of knowing your unique value, isn't it time to know it and time to unleash it? You see, it's great to know these things, but if you don't use your knowledge, nothing will ever change. Back then, I didn't really take it personally when he tried to haggle me. See, I understand, I think back on that day, and I think, did he really just try and haggle a 13-year-old girl over a $15 book? I understand that my products are not for everyone. I understand that my services are not for everyone. So you must understand that your products, they're not for everyone. Your services are not for everyone. You don't have to worry about pleasing everybody, because your unique value will attract your unique customer. So as I was saying before, it's time to use your knowledge of knowing your unique value to work, because knowledge is not power. It's what you do with that knowledge that makes it powerful. So as I was kind of thinking over, I was trying to think about when it was that I unleashed my unique value. And I realized it was when I told my story, the time that I told my story, and then I understood that this story was important. It was a time that I spoke at TEDx Rock Creek Park. Yeah! So I've spoken on stages before. I told my story before, but there was just something different about this time. So ever since I started my speaking career, I knew I wanted to speak on a TED stage. So when I got a call saying that I could audition, I knew I was going to get it. I was confident in my abilities. So when the day of the event came, I had the name tag. I looked through the program. I saw my picture and bio, and I was just so excited. So when the event started, I was just smiling. And as the first, then second, then third, then finally the entire first session was finished, another emotion started kicking in: fear. See, I could feel myself shaking as people finished and walked the stage. I don't know what happened. All this fear just came rushing over me. And when they called me backstage to wait, I I was just trying to figure out what happened to all that confidence, what happened to all that excitement that I had. I knew I could not let this get to me. I knew I had to gain some courage. So there I was back there. How many of you ever watched Princess Diaries? Yeah, right? There was a saying, a quote that they said, and I want you all to remember this, because this is very important. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the judgment that something is more important than fear. So, as I was standing behind the stage, my heart was beating so hard, it was hurting, and they were reading my bio, and I was trying to decide whether to run back to my seat or faint right there. But I understood that I needed to do this. So as I walked onto the stage, I said my first lines. From the time that I was born, my parents knew two things about me. One, I was born a Redskins fan. And two, I never wanted to work for anyone. And the audience laughed. I continued my speech, and the audience continued to laugh at my jokes and continued to feel sad at sad stories. It was an amazing feeling. But nothing compared to the feeling that I had when I got a standing ovation from the entire audience. It was a feeling of being unleashed. What is my story? I want you to ask yourself this question. The reason is because the answer will share you what your unique value is. See, I know that being a young person, again, with a book, a speaking career, being an entrepreneur, being a philanthropist, it makes me unique. Because when I talk to kids, when I help them, I know that they'll understand me. I know that they'll listen to me because I understand them. I'm 14. I'm their age. And so I would have never knew this. I would have never known my unique value if I hadn't looked back. Looked back at the lives that I've touched. Looked back at the lives that I've inspired. And just as I was able to unleash my unique value on the stage of TEDx, by telling my story, you'll be able to do the same thing. Because when you know your story, you will be able to, if you know your story, you will be able to then know your unique value, because your unique value will be coming from your story, the people that you've touched, the people that you've inspired. And so when you know your unique value, you will then be able to unleash it. So I challenge you to be prepared for all the opportunities that are going to come your way. To not let fear stop you or break you. And most of all, I challenge you to know your story so that you can then know your unique value, so that you can finally unleash it. So, are you up for the challenge? Are you up for the challenge? Yeah, all right. Thank you.